You've landed in the confidence zone with Susan Axelrod, the confidence coach. This is a place for topics of information and inspiration, a place to support you to find your confidence, get bold, and get going. Activation is needed today at all levels. Don't wait for someone else to lead. Lead now where you are with what you have. Your energy and enthusiasm matters. Believe it or not, it impacts all of us. Find your confidence, get bold, and get going. Hello, friends. Welcome to the Confidence Zone. Today, we are going to discuss one of my favorite topics of all time, and that is soul. I am delighted to be welcoming my friend, author, coach, Master of Transformation, Cate Schultz, to the Confidence Zone. Hello, Cate. Good to see you.
Hi, Susan. Nice to see you too. Happy to be here today.
Well, full disclosure, Cate and I met in a business group online, but recently we just met IRL in real life, and it was a delight to see you. And I'm thrilled to be here with you today to give a little tease about an upcoming podcast conversation that we're having in my book show, your book, My Time. Cate, first of all, please share the titles of both of your fantastic books with us.
Yes. There's two books. One is called Soul Primer, The Building Blocks of Happiness. And the second one is the kids version of that called Soul Primer for Kids.
Honestly, Soul Primer, that's a mic drop right there, Cate. Right? I know, it's so beautiful. I forgot to take my copy out just now. They're absolutely beautiful books. Soul Primer is where we are today at this exact moment in time, actually at this exact moment in history, talking about the soul. So just give us an idea, what will we be discussing in our book show podcast coming up?
Well, we're going to discuss why these books are so important. And as you say, why they're so important right now. Now, Soul Primer came out in 2020. And at the time, Deepak Chopra said, this book could be the ticket to changing our world. And I thought, it was important at that time. It's even more important now. It is even, right now in the troubled times that we're in, this book is a book that can actually change lives and by extension, change our world. So we're going to go into some depth on that, and I'm excited to be discussing it with all of you.
Honestly, to have Deepak Chopra say this book could truly change our world, speaking out those words, the energy of it. I live in the energy world more than the metrics world. So I don't know how many millions of people need to buy a book or whatever, but the energy of those words, the energy of this book really just palpates out. And so we're going to talk about what the Soul Primer book for adults is. And I just want to move for a minute. Oh my gosh, the Soul Primer for kids. Just give us a thumbnail on really how this came about and how on earth it came out of you.
Yeah, when my book came out, it was the beginning of COVID. So basically, everything closed down. I had no idea how it would make its way in the world, but somehow it did. And went around the world. And also parents started using it with their children. And I was hearing from people, oh, I'm using your book with my 6 and 8-year-old or my 4-year-old. And I'm like, wow, it's a big book for kids. And they started asking me, will you please write a kids version for it? And so that's what I did. And I think that, well, I'm just going to say, I'll probably say this again in our talk. But when I finished that book at the end of last year and I sat down and I leafed through it, I started crying because it is so beautiful. And it is the type of thing that all the children of the world need to be hearing. So we'll talk more about that and why it's so special.
All of this bears repeating. We are in the confidence zone today, Cate, And I get asked a lot, how do you do all the things that you do? How do you do so much? And when you're high achievers, as we are, professional personas, CEO types, you think like, I haven't even done that much, right? There's always more that can be done. But I really want to stop here for a second and say what it took when you started hearing from people and the idea seeded and formulated, oh, I could make this book for kids. So lots of people have ideas, but most people don't do anything with most of their ideas. And so I really want to hit on this thing that you had an idea, it was presented to you, and then you had an idea, and then obviously you set to work with some level of confidence to create this amazing tool called Soul Primer for Kids.
Yeah. So, part of that is habit, because for many, many years I've learned, and this is my saying that I tell my coaching clients, is when we step forward in action, the tectonic plates of the universe shift to support us. So every step that we're taking, the universe is shifting to support us if we're stepping forward in action and in alignment with the good wishes, let's say, of the universe. And so I knew that I needed to do this. And to be honest, it scared me because I actually have a background as a teacher. I have children, I have grandchildren. I mean, I've been around children, but to write a book for children is not easy. And so it scared me to do it. But I knew that if I stepped forward in action, I'd be supported by the universe. And that's how it came to be. Right. So trusting that I was being led, and two, trusting that I would continue to be supported.
Yeah. Trusting that I was being led, trusting that I would be supported. And then that action piece, taking that action piece, it's so important. Cate, today, to tell you the truth, a lot of people are in this paralytic state. They're paralyzed to be able to take that step forward. And then you started out by saying it's a habit. For many years, probably decades of your life, you have been in the habit of moving into action, and then trusting probably came a little bit more in your maturity. And then, knowing that the tectonic plates would fill in front of us. I love that visual.
And, and it is habit, right? And practice. So we both practiced for many, many years. And that's part of the purpose of the original book, the adult book, is to help everybody get into the skills that they need to live that kind of life, that when you are called to do something, you do it. And when you do it, it's supported and it's successful. And we all can do that, right? You know that.
What's coming up for me is permission, self-permission. There was this belief, an idea got seeded. There was a belief, there was trust, but also to really have that confidence rise, we do need to have a bit of permission. You said, I was a teacher around kids, so it was ambitious and even a little difficult to think about writing a book for kids. Can I write a book for kids? My gosh, it's so, they're impressionable. And to think, honestly, I can't wait to talk about in our podcast conversation to go really dive deeply into the tool that you have embedded. And we're not going to talk about it today, but in the Bookshow podcast, we're going to share the simplest tool that you have embedded into this work, first in the adult primer. And then you said even the adults were already using it for their children, and then creating the soul primer for kids. But along the way, you must have given yourself permission to say, I'm doing this.
Yes. And I believe, again, because I walk in alignment. I believe the universe gave me permission because the right people came into my life. And I have some fun stories about that, how I collaborated with a couple other people. You have to wait. You have to come back for the book talk to hear about it, because it's a great story about the children's
obviously, you already talked about Deepak Chopra. So
well, no, not Deepak Chopra, but for the kids book, the two people that I brought in as co-authors just happened in my life. And it really was like magic. And this is the thing. I believe in magic because I've seen it happen so many times in my life. And I believe that these books were created in magic, and they create magic in people's lives. So it's all, it's all very, very wonderful. And we all have, and it's all the permission that the universe gives us all the time to be our best selves, to walk in magic and power, and our power.
I'm sitting here, Kate, because I know the books. I'm sitting here, just started popping into my mind. I started working with young professionals several years ago. I was compelled to work with young professionals to provide a resource support to them in a way that I didn't have when I was 35, 32, 33, coming up 35. And I'm thinking of them now and thinking about this book, The Soul Primer for Kids, and also, by the way, we should say it's not only for little children. It's not only for 4-year-olds. I mean, it can go all the way up to teenagers. It's one of those books that really, sort of rises above the age barrier.
Yes. And I have to say, the funny thing is, when I started putting that in this book in the stores at the beginning of this year, I was selling, the ones who had already been selling lots of adult books, they were selling a lot of kids books. And they were, one woman told me, that one of the store owners, she said, I sell so many of those kids books to adults. She said, I think yes, like them because they're just so accessible and colorful. And so it's for any age, of course.
Kate, you just brought up something else. This is so ridiculous. I mean, we're going to have so much fun in our Bookshow podcast, but what you just said made me mindful that people who are 80 are not dead yet. Even if they're in senior facilities, assisted living facilities, nursing homes, we are well aware that sometimes children's literature supports them. And I just realized what you just said about the adults buying the children's version. Yeah. This would be the most amazing tool for seniors as well. Oh my gosh, that's like, now you need to make one in big print.
No kidding. I love that. And what's really had become fascinating to me this year, I completely rebranded my website, and we'll talk about that a little bit on the podcast. But what's surprised me is the realization that these books are applicable in every single setting. Like, I could see them being used in businesses for employers to create a more caring atmosphere. There's a better word for that. And in schools and in homes and in communities. And I mean, they're applicable almost in every setting. So
I love this.
Homes I hadn't thought of.
I totally love this. Of course, you know how I feel about the business environment. You were looking for the word. The word is compassion.
And the business culture, right?
Yeah.
The more caring culture.
And, businesses often give gift items for various things, and they're buying golf umbrellas and bags and hats and all this stuff that fills the landfill. But this as a corporate gift to their employees on the anniversaries or whatever, or to teams. It's so perfect. Well, listen, Cate Schultz calls herself teacher, author, seeker, sage, and master of transformation. She will be on the Bookshow podcast, Your Book, My Time. Tune in. We'll drop the date and time in the notes here. Kate, I'll see you soon. I can't wait to do a much deeper dive into the power of these books as a tool for healing exactly right now.
Thank you, Susan. I'm excited to talk more soon and looking forward to it so much.
Yeah. Okay. I'll see you soon. Thanks for taking the time today.
Okay.
Wishing you the best.
Thanks, you guys. See you all soon. All right. Bye-bye.